Hello there, and thank you so much for joining us today right here on Transforming Families. My name is Faith Kaulu, and I'm excited to have you on board because each time we are here, this means that families are being transformed, and that is our sole purpose, to see that our families are stronger together and happy with so much love. Today, I am gladly joined by Reverend Edward Karanja, who is a minister with the Presbyterian Church of East Africa, PCA, as well as a marriage and family therapist. Thank you so much, Rev, for being here, and karibu sana.
Thanks a lot, Faith, for the welcome this day. And as we always say here in Transforming Families here at CAC TV, stable families for a stable society. So you're most welcome, our viewers, as we continue in the discussion today on finances. Thank you.
Yes. Another very far end is the amazing Professor Catherine Gashuza, who is the director of the Kenya Institute of Business and Counseling Studies, KIBCO, as well as a counseling psychologist. Karibu sana, Prof. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you, Faith. Thank you, Reverend. I have really missed you guys.
Yeah.
And I love us when we are doing this. Right now, when families are really going through a lot of killings, a lot of fighting within families, it's good to talk much more about that.
Sure.
And I'm happy that we are doing this in helping families to find their footing in health.
Yeah. Wow, that is very perfect indeed, and that is all that we aspire to achieve. Now, there's a very famous quote that is used a lot of times that goes, money is the root source of all evil. And today I want us to digest it and to disagree with it heavily, because if we say money is the root of all evil, then we are agreeing that our families have issues, you know, and yes, we agree that money definitely has caused a lot of disagreements in our family, and we want to see how can we solve this, you know, and ensure that money brings us together other than tearing us apart. And that is why today we want to talk about finances, a very sensitive issue. Everyone is very safe, what's the word, protective of the income, of the finances, and don't joke around with that, especially with the tough economic times that we are in. But let's talk about finances in a family setup and look at how open should a couple be in terms of how much money they're bringing into the family. I don't know who'd like to take it up first.
I like the quote that you've used, that money is the root of all evil, because we hear it again and again.
Yes.
But we hear it when people are not able to manage their finances, and when a marriage is dysfunctional, when a marriage is having its own problems, when a family is having its own problems. Otherwise, when we talk about money, money is a resource. It is very neutral. It all depends on how we use the money and how we manage the money. Meaning, it is families that have to build capacity within themselves for them to be able to manage money effectively, so that needs within a family can be met. And so that statement comes because we have challenges within families.
Yes.
Yeah.
We do indeed. But I like how you've put the responsibility on the family to manage their own resources. And you mentioned that money is neutral. You know, Rev?
Thanks a lot, Faith. Money is indeed good. The Bible says, money answereth all things. Meaning without it, you know, most questions will not be answered.
Yeah.
On the other hand, still the Bible says, money is the root cause of evil.
Yeah.
It's good to realize in those two statements, which are biblical verses, that nowhere does the Bible say money is evil. No, it answereth all issues. On the other hand, money is the root cause. It's a root. It causes, but money in itself is not evil. No, it's not evil. And it's good for people to love money. I mean, to what you like, you beget it. What you hate has a way of running away from you.
Yeah.
But you don't like money or love money at the expense of the people around you. Because money is a medium of exchange. So when you say you don't like money, money is no good, it's good to realize that since money is a medium of exchange, when I don't have it, I will not get the watch that I have. When I don't have the money, you know, Professor Catherine will not be as amazing. And by the way, you always introduce her as the amazing Professor Catherine. I don't know why the man is not amazing, but it's okay. I'm okay with it. So please, my viewers, you know, this is what men we have to go through, but we are fine. The ladies are amazing, and I agree. Because even they say, mwanaume si sura, mwanaume ni mfuko. So I'm in agreement with this. But what we're saying is that, you know, for Prof to be amazing is because of money. She got money to buy the dress she has, the nice chain she has, the lipstick she has, the earrings that are matching with her chain. You know, all that is because of money. So money is a medium of exchange. And it's good to look at money as an enabler, not an end in itself. So money is not evil. It is the way you use it. Money is a medium of exchange. Without it, there are many things you not have. We will not even be in this studio. We did not have the money.
Sure thing.
So money is good for you to look as amazing as you are in your combination of, you know, yellow and everything else.
Many colors.
Many colors. You know, the gold you have. Is it yellow or gold? I'm a man. So I guess some people call it gold. It's because of money. It's because you are endowed. You know, the beauty on your face. Is because of money. When you don't have it, kuna venye mpaka inaonyesha kwa sura.
That look very different.
Yes. So money, I won't just tell my viewer, like it, embrace it, but manage it well. Money is not evil, it is the way you use it. So money is good.
Money is good, and it is the way you use it. Because we've had a lot of women especially who come out and say, no, my husband, when we got married, he changed and started looking for other women. But then you've mentioned that it is the root cause, but money is not bad. So do not discourage your husband from taking job opportunities because say, hey, he might change and leave me for other women.
Maybe he always wanted to go. It's only that he did not have the ability. Otherwise, he was not contented in that space. So when finally he gets money, he does that which he wanted to do from the beginning. So when he picks that other girl, picks another one, it's not because of money. It's only that money has enabled him to do probably what he always desired to do.
Answered the question.
Yes, it answered all things. Exactly. You are good, becoming a good Bible teacher.
All things to
it answers. So there was this need for these men to, you know, explore other women. So money has answered that particular need.
More like revealing his true character.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Wow. Okay. All right. Let's talk about this. I'll talk about this as a lady. Growing up, a lot of young ladies have been told, you know, once you get married, ensure that you have a secret account. Put some money there. In case this man one day is up and leave, then you are independent. And it's sad enough to say that we're teaching independence in such a way that is keeping secrets from your husband. You know, Prof, what do you have to say about this culture?
It is like preempting there is going to be a divorce even before the marriage happens, which is a very sad affair because we are not being positive about this marriage that is going to be formed. We are not even hopeful and even having faith that the two of them can grow each other within the marriage to a point. Even those challenges that they may be having of managing their own resources and their own money, they can get better ways of doing that. Now, when you tell a young girl, when you get into a marriage relationship, have your own account. Yes, it is good to have one's own account, but I think the reason that is given is the one that is very challenging to a marriage relationship, and a marriage that needs to flourish, and a marriage where they need to be contented and satisfied and happy within that marriage relationship. Because secrecy has a way of ruining a marriage, because mistrust is going to be there and insecurities are going to develop within that marriage relationship. And therefore, yes, people can have their own separate accounts, with a positive agenda that you need to have your own account because you also have needs that you can meet. But you also can have the combined partnership accounts where you can put monies that you're doing projects with, that you're trying to do common things with. So it is okay to have the joint account, but also okay to have individual account, because I don't want to go borrowing money from my spouse all the time. I would want to have some little money so that whenever I need something, like I need soap at home or whatever other things that I need at home, I can go to my account, withdraw the money, and allow my husband to be peaceful wherever he is, so that I can be able to do these things that I can be able to do with my own finances. And therefore, I think that kind of an advice does not look into what creates health in a marriage relationship.
Right. So have the account, but let it not be a secret.
Yes, and let it not be, because if the marriage is going to break, then this is what you're going to use.
Rev, I don't know about boys when they grow up. Is this something they are told?
It's amazing, and I can't agree better or more with the prof, like she has put it. She has put it so well. That whenever you get into a relationship and you're told, keep some money aside. Why? It's because but you are getting into this relationship, but what you are seeing first is a divorce. You're already foreseeing a breakup. That's why keep your money aside. Especially in my mother tongue, they put it in a very bad way, because they say, put aside some money, sure to komuru. You know, like, put money aside for a bad night. You know, meaning already you are so prepared that there has to come a bad night. Someday there'll be a bad night. So you're putting aside some money because of that bad night that will come. So what are you saying here? I am in with one leg, but another leg is out. So I'm already here, but I'm preparing for my exit. So that exit, that mistrust already destroys the relationship in a very, very big way. When men are growing up, we're getting married. I have listened to, sometimes I go to when they're done doing the baby shower, the girl bridal shower. And there is this tradition of doing itara. So whereby the boy's family is going to the girl family is going to the boy's family to know the home, how it is. And the girl will be taken inside the house to be given counsel by the ladies, and the man will be left outside to be given counsel by the men. And he's in a circle. And you hear people say, hey, please, you need to keep some money aside, even when you have one pocket that you don't touch. So even when you like to tell your lady, I don't have money, you can even empty the pocket and show inside out, and she can see really you don't have money. But kuna ile umekanyagia, they always say kanyagia kitu, because just in case things don't go right, kuna ile usiku mbaya, kuna kitu unaweza toa. Lakini umemwonyesha the wife ile yenye iko too open. So it's something that has already been said, but I'm not for it. I guess what many people lack is the financial independence while you are still in a married relationship. And the reason why people want to keep money aside is because something in you is crying for financial independence. I need some money whereby I can meet with boys and buy them a cup of tea without really necessarily asking my wife, can I buy tea? And that's why even many people will be afraid of a joint account, because they are like, I will not have independence here. If I go out to the field, maybe the girls have gone for a walk or have gone for their massage, or a girl out. The girl needs some money to go and spend. If I go out maybe to play golf, and we sit down in the clubhouse with fellow men, I want to buy someone a cup of tea. Is a financial independence. What would be my take? Because the boys have been told that, by the way. I don't want to sit here behind the camera and say, oh, men, we are like very open, we put every coin on the table. Tunaambua kanyagia kidogo, just in case. But my advice will always be, agree on a certain amount of money that you can have, and you do not ask for the accountability. And my take, I don't know what Prof will say, my take to couples has always been, what we call the 10-10-8 policy. If you're very faithful in church, you will give 10% to your tithe. Then 10% you will tithe it to yourself. Wewe ndio ulienda kazini, wewe ndio umefanya kazi. 10 ni yako ya kujirudishia shukrani. If you want to throw it in the air, throw it in the air. Then the 8 or the 80 is for the family. I don't spend the 80% without consultation with my wife. If we need to buy something, we agree on this. You know, my traveling, my house, my personal needs, we budget from this. Like in the 10%, nobody should ask me what I should do with it. If the other 10% for tithe, I did not give the tithe, I decide to eat, kesi si yangu na mke wangu, ni yangu na Mungu. Kwa hivyo mtu asiniulize kama nilipeleka church. So it's up to me. So there is a 20% which is purely on the hands of the person bringing the money home. But the 80%, for me, that is family money. That's where we budget from. So if my wife is earning 100,000, 20,000 sitamuuliza, 80,000 ndio tupange. If I am earning $1 million, 200,000 nisiulizwe, 800,000 niwekele kwa meza, sio yangu, ni ya familia. So it should not be like this joint account where we say every month, Faith, you bring 10,000. Your husband Otieno brings 10,000. No, because we don't earn the same. So bring a certain percentage. So that is the money we share out with the family budget, the school fees, the housing, whatever we need to do. It is the 80-80. Lakini 20%, hiyo ni freedom yako. What you want to do with that money, do with it.
No one should question.
No one should question you. So I feel like sometimes the couples need that financial independence, feeling like, you know, I meet with the prof and I need to buy her a cup of tea. I have something in the pocket without someone say, si ulienda na 1,000, kwani imeenda wapi, umetumia namna gani? That financial you know, freedom is necessary. Yes, but otherwise, to answer your question in short word and brief, I have had that enough times. Disclose pesa yote. Yes.
Wow. Prof, do you have anything to add on that, especially on the financial independence, which is so enlightening? Because maybe, that then drives one to feel like I need to hide some money somewhere so that I can take it without anyone questioning me.
I think it's something that we need to do more in our premarital classes, and even when we are doing marriage sessions, because the Bible says that my people perish because of lack of knowledge. That formula that Leverett has used, the 10-10-8 formula, every family or a marriage couple can look into a formula that works for them. That is for Lev. But then each individual each family needs to look into what works for us. Financial independence is very vital. These people who have gotten married to each other are adults. You don't want to be put in a situation where you're feeling like, I am behaving like a child. I am going to ask money as if I am a child. And whether it is this husband or this wife, you don't want to be put in that particular situation because you are an adult. And the person who is asking you for the money and accountability of the same is asking you as a parent, where did you take the 1,000 Kenya shillings? And you're feeling, how do you domineer over me and ask me those kind of questions? Who have you become in relationship to me? But when you realize what this person is asking, the person is asking, treat me as an adult. Respect me as an adult. Don't try to demean me, and don't try to ask me questions with a language of demeaning me. And therefore we need to appreciate that adults want to be treated as adults, and adults require that independence and that autonomy, because it's a need that when people are grown up, they would want to be treated in that way. Then that autonomy, the need for autonomy, because it's a serious core need for autonomy and independence, need to help us, or needs to be a principle when we are talking about money management. so that no one is going to feel demeaned, or no one is going to feel you are condescending.
Yeah.
You're breathing on my neck, talking about money here, and you're not being respectful to me
Yes.
as an adult. So yeah, independence needs to be respected, and it needs to be a principle when we are talking about money management within families, within marriages.
Yeah, and thank you so much for bringing that up, because I'm picturing a mom who's a stay-at-home mom, and the husband has left money. You know, this should cater us throughout the week, and then, you know, buying things in the soko becomes expensive, and on Wednesday there's no money, so she asks for leo sina pesa ya mboga, and the husband says, what has happened to the money that I left? I budgeted it for a week, you know. And at that point I feel like then the woman feels, why are you questioning me like my parent? Kwani, what has happened?
And especially for a man, if you try that on him,
Yeah.
then he feels like emotionally you have castrated him. You reduce him to nothing.
Yeah.
That even when it comes to performance in bed, he's not able to do that because you're breathing over him.
Yeah.
And you're not giving him that, you know, that opportunity or that space to feel that he's the man of the house.
Yeah. Wow. Rob, you want to say something?
I wanted to add, Faith, and thank you very much, Prof, and say that issue of treating an adult like a baby, it's never easy. My daughter at the university would be like, Daddy, I need money for transport. I need money for lunch. I need money. No, we do a budget for the month. This is the money I need. Here is your money, or put the money in her bank account. Then she uses for that month. The next month, I give more money. It will be so hard for my wife or me to ask my wife, say, give me 1,000 shillings, and then she asks me a nini. You know, that doesn't make you feel like you're an adult. So what will happen to me when my wife says, please kindly end month, because I only notice if it's more money, like end month and tafutie 10,000. I'll be like, sawa, but vile nime budget, I don't think I can make it to 10,000. I can only afford 8,000. I can only afford 5,000. So I'm not asking her for what, but I have told her what I can afford. So whatever she wanted to do with the 10,000, and I can afford the 8, she will manage herself with the 8 that I have given, or probably postpone it, you know, like get the 8, wait for the following month, then I can give more.
Yeah.
If she says like, the case should party 2,000, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't have the 2,000 shillings, but I have 1,000 more. Whatever it is she wants to do with the money, this is not a class 1 baby that is asking for money. She knows why she needs the money.
Yeah.
So as she says, it is important for an adult to be treated as an adult. You don't treat an adult as otherwise. And that's why even the agreements, you know, the formula I was talking about, the agreement that what's the family budget here? How do we do it? Who does what?
Yeah.
And maybe probably that's something that we need to talk about, the responsibilities. What do we need to buy? Who buys it? How much is it?
Yeah.
Budgets may change. Like now, gas used to be 2,000. Now gas is about 2,600.
Yes.
You know,
Sure.
it has gone up by 600. Kwa hivyo kama kila mwezi umezoea kuacha 2,000 ama 5,000 ya shopping, you go to realize taxation in this country has really gone up.
Yeah.
And until you go to the market, you can't know how much it has gone. So again, you agree what do we need to cut down on in terms of our expenditure. Maybe if we are doing dinners every weekend, we'll be doing dinners, you know, twice a month, so that the money for the dinner now can go to the kitchen budget and add up to the kitchen budget. If every Tuesday we used to do pizza, the terrific Tuesday pizza,
Yeah.
now we can be skipping every Tuesday and the other Tuesday, so that it goes to the family budget.
Yeah.
Yes. So you need those agreements. The discussions are crucial, and I agree. You can't treat an adult like they are not an
Like,
adult.
yeah.
Or even telling them. I've always said, Faith and Prof, when I married my wife, she did not leave her head at their home and came to my house without
Yeah.
a head, and now depends on my head that I have to think for her. You know, so the same head she had in her home, amekuja nayo. So this thing of thinking like probably one of the spouses, they are thinking got suspended immediately they got married. But it should not be there.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much for that. Let's take a very short break. Dear viewer, we'll be right back. Do not move a muscle, because when we come back, we'll dive deeper and look at this issue to see how we can use money in our family and finances as well to bring love and harmony. So stay right here.
kwenye makala ya kwanza ya jukwaa la moderator.
Tunapojiweka mbele katika mambo yote tunayofanya, huwa tumeenda kinyume na matakwa ya Mwenyezi Mungu. Hasira moja iliyokuwa na Mungu ni kuhusu watu wanaojipenda. Kazi ya Mungu inapaswa kupewa kipaumbele. Hivyo kuna uwezekano ya kwamba tukisikiza ushauri wa Mungu kwa njia inayofaa, tutakuwa sawa kwake, sababu Mungu ana rehema.
Kuanzia Jumapili hii saa 1:30 jioni na kila Jumapili ya kwanza ya kila mwezi, ungana naye moderator wa kanisa la PCA Mchungaji Thegu Mutahi kwa mahubiri, mafunzo na ufafanuzi wa kiroho kuhusu masuala ibuka nchini hapa KAK TV.
Tafakari njia zako.
Welcome back, and thank you so much for keeping it right here. Today with Reverend Karanja and Professor Catherine, we are talking about finances and how to manage it in order for us to have harmony and build a stronger family. And one thing we've really touched on is that this requires honesty and openness and independence as well. And even as we're talking about money, I'd like us to look at, this is a husband who's not earning much, you know, and the society has placed that responsibility on the man. You find that if a woman is earning more, then there's a certain level of lack of respect to the man, which is wrong. But now let's look at, this is a husband who's not earning much because of probably kind of employment or different reasons really, and this woman needs a certain lifestyle that requires money and keeps pushing the husband. Really, let's talk about this issue because it is happening. It is pushing men into depression, and I want us to touch on it today.
Right. It's a culture, and especially amongst the young people who are looking into a man that they can cash from.
Yes.
The man who is supposed to buy a vehicle for them, the man who is supposed to dress them very well, the man who is supposed to take care of all these needs. One, it comes from the traditional culture, where the man is supposed to be putting food on the table.
Yes.
But again, if you are expecting this person who is having very limited finances to be the one who is doing all the things that you want him to do, then you're not being realistic about this person. Then we need to think about, when one enters into the marriage relationship, what are the critical things that one would want to have so that this marriage can work for him or her. I think it's about being very selfish, and it's about being very inhuman to this individual or to this man, your spouse, who does not have enough money at that point in time or during that season. You do not know what is going to happen in another season. But during this season, when this spouse of yours is having limited finances, it is upon the wife to be considerate. It is upon the wife to be practical. And just like Lev said there before, explaining, even this man explaining, this is where we are at. This is how much I can bring on the table. This is how much we can budget for. Because we do not know about tomorrow, we do not know about the future, but this is where we are. So I want to say that when a couple becomes realistic, or when one spouse within the spousal relationship becomes unrealistic about money, then a lot of distress happens within the marriage relationship. Because what we do if we have limited finances, and that is why we are seeing people killing each other. Because people are not realistic within the marriage relationship in regard to what they have and how they can utilize their own finances. So I want to say to the ladies, you need to be more realistic with your spouses. They are not gods. They are human beings. And we have a very competitive world that we are dealing with, where women are getting higher salaries and higher resources than the men do. That does not mean that your husband becomes lesser of a human being because he's not bringing as much as you bring on the table.
Yeah.
Resources cannot be more elevated than humanness. We cannot elevate resources much more than our children. We need to know resources are there so that they can sort out our own issues as human beings. But we cannot reduce people to nothingness because of resources. We need to be realistic about finances, about resources, so that we can allow resources to serve us, but not resources to destroy us.
Wow, very well put.
Thanks a lot, Prof, and thank you, Faith, for bringing this up. The way we have been constructed, the way we are, is that we are in a patriarchal society. And even the biblical times of patriarchal society, the Quran times of biblical society, the society has been patriarchal in a very big way. And in the patriarchal society, it is where the man is the provider, and of course the authority, the head of the family, and that headship requires, giving instructions around and providing for the family. And when that man is not able to provide for the family, even before the wife says anything, already the man feels like he's not good enough. Because the society expects you to give, expects you to support. So your self-esteem as a man, immediately you're not able to provide, is a big challenge. And that's why we keep saying, mwanaume ni bidii. Even those men that have sponsors, a young man has, is a Ben 10 and is being sponsored by a certain lady somewhere. He still feels when they go to a restaurant, he would want the sponsor to give him money so that he's the one to pay. Otherwise, he does not feel a real man. Because even the waiters, either they are male or female, when they bring a bill, they don't push it towards the woman, they push it towards the man.
Yes.
It's such a patriarchal society. So when a man is not able to meet that bill, it is painful for a man. And that's why I keep telling men, you cannot afford to really live on a woman. If you try, it doesn't really work, because we're a patriarchal society. However, things can change. If I give food to my wife, my children, I don't go report it to anyone. If I go tell the world, I've been feeding my wife and children, the world looks at me and wonders, so what did you expect? So what was a big deal? But if I sit in the house and my wife is the one providing 100% for the family, 1 month, because I have lost the job, should be okay. Second, third month, if I'm still very lucky, she'll start feeling tired. By the time she, days go by, she'll start like feeling, amefinyirika chini. Men will start saying, mwanamke ana madharau kwa sababu akona pesa. But it's a patriarchal society. So even her, she's starting to feel, these are not my responsibility. So all of a sudden, you might even hear her telling the ladies, mimi nimechoka kupatia mwanamume mzima chakula. Mimi nimechoka kupatia watoto chakula. And the society will be like, kwani you're the one who feeds your husband? How can you feed a grown-up man? But the society does not ask me, how can you feed a grown-up woman? Because that is the way the society has, has created us. To deconstruct that is not easy.
True.
Because it is the society we are living in. And so if your wife or the lady finds herself earning more than the husband, like Prof had rightfully put it, it is necessary for the woman to know how to manage that. And that's why I use the formula, the 10-10-80. So that no matter who earns the money, the lady has, if she's the one earning more, she has her financial independence. Then the rest of the money is put in the family budget so that it can be distributed equally. Because if the lady is earning $1 million and the man is earning, 10,000, her associations where she goes for the board meetings, her friends, it is in the $1 million restaurants. If one is earning 20,000 or 10 or 15, where you go for your social catch-up,
Yes.
it is in the 10,000 restaurant.
True.
So the husband also needs to understand, if my wife needs to meet a friend for a cup of tea, it is not in my 10,000 level or bracket environment. She needs to meet these friends in the half a million bracket environment.
Yeah.
So and that's why many people despise counseling. That's why counseling is so important. If you find yourself in such like a situation, go for therapy, so that the therapy can help the two of you to adjust. Because many ladies do not know how to look down; they know how to look up. She looks up to the man, intellectually. There is intellectual intimacy. So she looks up to you for advice, looks up to you for provision, looks up to you for some things, or looks at par, so that we can be able to discuss. So when the lady is being forced to look down financially, down on you for everything, it does not really sit down well with her.
Yeah.
And the man as well is not used to looking up. He's used to looking the other way.
Yeah.
So when the children are looking up to your wife, you are looking up to your wife for the provision. Children are looking up to your wife, to their mother for provision. The man starts saying, oh, huku nimedharauliwa, huku hakuna mtu ako haja na mimi, hakuna mtu ananiona kama mimi ni mtu. Yet the lady, when you are providing for her, she doesn't say, huku mimi sioni kama mimi ni mtu, hakuna mtu ananiheshimu. You'll find many men, and I'm sorry for taking long, you'll find many men starting to kujisikia kama wao si watu, because her provide. So it is necessary for the man kuweka bidii, hata kama mshahara ni kidogo, wacha uonekane uko na bidii. Finally, for the man, and it is important for a man to know that pesa ya mwanaume ni tamu sana kwa mwanamke. It is sweet. If your wife wants to buy a
very sweet.
If your wife wants to buy a 10,000 shoe, and she asks you for money, and you only give 2,000, and she adds the 8,000, she feels so nice. When people ask her, uko na kiatu mzuri, she'll be like, it's my husband who bought. Yet the husband contributed only 2,000 and she put in 8,000.
Yeah.
There is a way pesa ya mwanaume kwa mwanamke ni kama chumvi kwa chakula. Chumvi sio nyingi, lakini inafanya chakula ipate ladha.
Yeah.
So men, achilia tu wale.
Waache kuwa stingy.
Achilia wale, the wisdom.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I support the message.
So much. so much.
Yeah.
All right. Let's look at investing together as a couple. Is this a decision that should be made together? Because honestly speaking, and this is coming from the concept that we spoke about earlier, having hidden or secrets accounts. We have people who've bought land that their partner doesn't know about. And I really like social media a lot, because then when people talk to influencers, they talk in anonymity, so they're not known, and they say, I have a piece of land, I have built a house, my husband doesn't know about it. And it is shocking for me to see it, and I'm like, honestly, then why are you together? Let's talk about investing together as a couple and how important it is.
Right. I'll start by saying that when people don't do the work of the marriage, they get to those situations where they can invest by the side alone, privately, without telling their spouses, because you parted ways long time ago. And we have so many people within marriages who say they are still married, but they went different ways long time. Whether they are sleeping in different bedrooms or they're investing differently, privately. We have so many of those kind of people.
Yeah.
But there is a danger in that. We hear about unclaimed assets in this country, which are in tunes of billions of money. And we don't know what happens tomorrow. We can talk about today. Because I think investing privately is good only for today, when you are alive and when you are able. But come to tomorrow that you do not know how it's going to turn out like, and it becomes very, very challenging. If one dies when you have not revealed some of those investments that you have done alone, that means that those investments can be lost, or your children and your wife are not going to claim those property because they do not know that they exist. And one needs to ask himself or herself, is that what you want for yourself? That you do so much, but then that work that you have invested, it cannot help your family if you're gone. We need to be conscious of some of these realities, and we live as if we are dying. We don't live as if we are going to live forever, but we live as if we are dying. When we see death, when we see catastrophes, when we see tragedies in our lives that we cannot be able to control, then we become sober. Then you ask yourself, do I want to be in this marriage or I don't? Because if it is a marriage where you do not want to invest, then you have to ask yourself very candid questions as to whether this marriage is tenable or it's not, and whether you are setting your family to contend with problems after you are gone. Because if that is what you want, then well and good, you have planned for it. But I must say we need to be wise within our marriages, so that investments, even if your spouse does not want to become part and parcel of an investment that you are doing, it is important to tell him or her, by the way, I am doing 1, 2, 3. Would you want to join me? And the papers for whatever I'm doing are in this place. That way, you are guarding tomorrow, whatever would happen tomorrow. And we also can ask ourselves, when you started off in the marriage, what made you choose this person as a spouse? What has changed now so that you want to do things in a hidden way? Have you destroyed each other in the marriage relationship to a point that now you can go different ways in investing separately? But I must also say, because those people come to us when they want to go through a therapeutic process, that a person may not be frugal in the way they are spending money. You get money and you're just being extravagant in the way you're spending that money. You can understand the reason as to why a spouse would want to do things by the side to secure the children. Sometimes that we can understand. But then we need to be cognizant that this marriage needs to be taken for treatment, so that that kind of a behavior does not continue on, because it's not a tenable pattern or behavior that we are building.
Wow, that is very insightful.
Very, and what Prof has said, and which is true, Faith, a number of things. One is that by the time the couple starts to invest independently, that marriage most likely has already broken down. So the investing separately is simply maybe like stage 3 or 4 towards total breakdown or total separation. That's why the person has started buying property, investing, building, like an example that was even in the social media, where a lady had even built a house, bought a house, completed buying the house, then influenced the husband that they move from the rental house they were in to rent that house. And the husband never knew that it was their own house. So the husband continued paying the rent without knowing that the landlord is his wife. So back in the social media, it is the wife who was the landlord. He continued paying, and at some point, like he had a challenge because the house was a little bit high in terms of rent than the one they were living in. And so when he went almost for 3 months, and they were now to be evicted at that moment. As he was trying to plead with the caretaker and the agent, that's when it was like, you can only discuss with the owner the house. So the wife did not know that it had gone to the discussion or with the owner. So then he has to meet with the owner. That is the moment he got to know that the owner was, the names were the same, the phone number the same. That could not have been a coincidence. So then calls and realizes that the wife is the owner of the house he has been paying for rent. So, there are those scenarios. So, by the time one is investing independently, it means most likely they have moved, or they have seen signals that this marriage is not viable. So, they are only preparing their exit. So, I've started putting up my own investment aside as I prepare for my exit. Maybe I'm thinking right now, I am not completely ready, but I'm like, there is no future in this marriage, it's not viable. So, in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years, I need to be out. Maybe by that time the children will be through with the level fulani of education. So nangoja watoto wafike class 5 ama class 4 wakifika hapo nimeenda. So I have started preparing myself. And that's that has happened to a number of people. You sit down with them and you realize that. I would say the best thing for every one of us, including us that are seated here, if you see like you are having a challenge with communication, understanding, as early as possible, seek help. Seek help. Because by the time you're investing alone, it means that marriage has really gone so down that even when you go for therapy, before you can be lifted back to where you need to trust each other, the dishonest issues are just tops. Then you need to start healing early, other than waiting until that point when things are so bad. But in a nutshell, for me as a minister of Word Sacrament, I wouldn't appreciate hidden accounts. No, hidden accounts, secret investments, I wouldn't encourage that as a minister. Because it's not good for even the person investing. Because you have to do a lot of work of hiding, ensuring every document umeificha. And then that document umeweka kwa aunti yako ama kazini yako, whoever is buying for you, you end up even spending more money because unanunua ukiwa umejificha. So you can't even negotiate well. You can't even seek advice of your spouse because you want to invest without the knowledge of your spouse. Quickly umejificha. And that's why the Prophet was saying about the hidden account. I still remember in 2016 or thereabout, it was in the Nation newspaper. It was a Sunday. I still remember in the church it was in because it was a Sunday newspaper. There was 8 billion cash money in unclaimed asset. Somebody had a hidden account. You died, the hidden account remained hidden. Inasaidia serikali. And even when you discover that account, if your children or grandchildren discover the account, the government will not give you the accrued benefit or interest. It is just the capital that will be given. It may never be discovered. I don't know how much we are standing at right now. I haven't checked that. But we are talking of many billions in unclaimed assets because of those hidden accounts that ulienda ukaingia chama kama mama, and sorry girls, ladies I think are the ones who have the hidden accounts more. So a lady went akaingia chama, anaficha hiyo account haijulikani. Akipewa pesa ya chakula 1000 atumia 800 200 anaenda kwa hiyo hidden account. If you go to be the Lord, that account haitasaidia watoto wako. It is useless. You'd rather, and that's my policy, my account, my finances are on the table, not only to my wife, even my children. On the table, even the things they are going to do. It does not mean that if they see I have this amount of money, they are going to budget for all of it. Watajua ninanunua shamba, waseme badala ya shamba tununue gari, we have disagreed. Wamejua nimeenda kununua shamba, na hiyo title ikipatikana iko hawakutaka, lakini wanajua iko. So people disclosing the account does not mean that you will agree in everything that you invest around. No. But in the event I go today to be the Lord, my family will not struggle to find my assets. I remember I traveled with my wife. I shared this, I think, on CAC TV. I traveled with my wife to the US for a whole 1 month. It was my leave, so we went for holiday, we went to California. And before we left, we sat down our children and we told them, in the event we get to this aircraft and we don't come back, me and your mother, so and so will be your godmother. So and so will be your daddy. We want to take care of your finances. And these are the investment. And property A will be for so and so. Property B will be for so and so. Property E will be for so and so. That did not stop us from coming back. We still came back. But the children are in the picture that even if today we were to go, we have verbalized everything about us. So the hidden account does not help you or the other person. That helps me to live very free. That if today COVID comes and I'm in the hospital, and I, was up COVID ikija and you're in the hospital in the machine, nikuwaita wote. Like, remember guys what we had agreed? so and so, and you, when you go underage, remember so and so is the estate administrator until you turn 25. Because every of our children until you are 25, your property remains with the estate manager. After that, you are given your property. Ukitaka kuuza, uza. Mimi nimeenda kukaa na Mungu.
Yes.
Na nimekusaidia mahali nimeweza. So hidden accounts are not for your own good or for the good of the family.
All right.
Yes.
As we conclude, before we do, I'd like us to talk about what name should the property be under, or whose name rather, very briefly, because the time is not on our side. Prof, what would you advise? Here you are investing as a couple, you've decided, let's buy a house or let's buy a car, or let's invest here. Then whose name should be?
For couples that discuss and they are able to agree, then they need to agree this property is going to be written under our two names. But there are properties that may be for business, and those ones we don't have to own them jointly, but they belong to family. And therefore, decisions have to be made depending on, is this a property that we would want to stay with? Or is it a property that we would want to dispose? Those kind of properties, we can decide whose name can they be bought with. So it would be important for a family to discuss, like Reverend has said. And I like that kind of open policy. Because children then will know this is what we have and this is what we can get if our parents go to be with the Lord. So I think it's a discussion that needs to be encouraged among couples.
Sure. And I also like it because then it also helps avoid cases where children have been left and now they're suffering. The property of the parents, has been grabbed. They have no rights. They didn't know about it. They can't claim it. So that's really nice, Reverend. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. I don't know if you guys have anything before we conclude very briefly.
Yes, I say you have worked so hard as a father, as a mother, so that your children and the generation after them are comfortable.
Sure.
So why hide from them? So that when you go, it benefits somebody else who you never targeted for you to help. So openness is important. Then there is that issue that Prof is, we have just mentioned. Who do you write the property? It again is an agreement. If the marriage is strong, you do not even need to write joint. You can even write your wife, because probably she's the one who has more time in terms of going for the land board, following up that. Because when sometimes you write it jointly, when it comes to the transfer and you want to dispose that property, you must both of you be in that transfer, or both of you. So I prefer for us, what we do is where we write and stroke or. So if we write Karanja and or Sarah, it means I can transact that on my own and she can transact it. Because it's in me or, so either of us can transact that. I mean, I know men will be on my throat on this, but most of our properties are in my wife's name.
All right.
The reason being, she has more time to do those land boards and go there as I go to look for it. So most of it is in her name, including the car I drive. And by the way, I drive a good car, I drive a Lexus. It's in her name because she has more time in terms of kufuata na nini and ikwe. But some of those prime properties we have written N stroke or, because that way it's easier for the transfer. I bought a property that was joint. And this gentleman, it was him and the wife. They retired. The wife went back to Kisii. So for them to come to do the transfer, they had both of them, make sure he gets the wife all the way from Kisii. So Akija hatujamalizana at that time. Then they have to make another trip. That's when I woke up and I said, it will be end or. Yes, because I saw that lady suffering big time and they were a little bit aged. Yes.
All right, but what I'm getting most is hail your marriage.
Amen.
Because then if your marriage is strong, trust issues won't be there and you'll be able to write under any name invest money anywhere as long as you've agreed. No hidden secrets of accounts and properties bought. Just be open with each other and build a culture that both of you agree with. Yeah, that is my take home, and I hope and believe you have learned something. And at the end of the day, money is good. Seek it, find it, enjoy it together to bring happiness and make memories as well. Thank you so much for joining us today on Transforming Families. My name is Faith Kaulu. Till next time, goodbye. We welcome you to join us as we worship the Lord this Sunday, the 17th of October 2021. CAC TV, in partnership with the session and the fraternity of PCEA Kamburu Parish, invites you for our live Sunday service led by Reverend Leah W. Ndegwa. In the afternoon, don't miss an exciting session of youth to program from PCEA Ruai South Parish, St. Paul's Church. The session will be hosted by Reverend Anthony Miringu, the Director of PCEA Youth Department. Tune in to CAC TV on Signet, CAC TV Kenya on Facebook and YouTube to fellowship with us.
Kwenye makala ya kwanza ya jukwaa la moderator.
Tunapojiweka mbele katika mambo yote tunayofanya, huwa tumeenda kinyume na matakwa ya Mwenyezi Mungu. Hasira moja iliyokuwa na Mungu ni kuhusu watu wanaojipenda. Kazi ya Mungu inapaswa kupewa kipaumbele. Hivyo kuna uwezekano ya kwamba tukisikiza ushauri wa Mungu kwa njia inayofaa, tutakuwa sawa kwake, sababu Mungu ana rehema.
Kuanzia Jumapili hii saa 1:30 jioni na kila Jumapili ya kwanza ya kila mwezi, ungana naye moderator wa kanisa la PCEA Mchungaji Thegu Mutahi kwa mahubiri, mafunzo na ufafanuzi wa kiroho kuhusu masuala ibuka nchini hapa CAC TV.
Tafakari njia zako.